Hi, I'm J Alpinist, and these are the Buchla and Tip Top Audio 200 series modules. These were designed by Don Buchla in the early 1970s. Its predecessor was the 100 series, which was the first, quote, West Coast synthesis modules. When you hear the term West Coast synthesis, they're talking about Don Buchla's design. East Coast being Bob Moog's designs. The differentiating factor between the two really is their own thoughts on music. Bob Moog was more interested in conventional chromatic music, and the synthesizer and modular synthesizer being a companion to existing orchestration and instrumentation. And Don envisioned these modules and this instrument, along with other people at the San Francisco tape music factory, whatever. He thought of that as a new type of instrument to create new sounds and to explore new boundaries within music without chromatic intervention. I mean, of course, you can make chromatic music like we're doing right now, but that wouldn't defeat the module's purpose, but its range is a little greater than some's. Possibilities are open here for sonic experimentation and for diving into areas that you might not find in other modules. Let's start with the dual oscillator. The top, you have the lead line, and the lower module, you have the bass line. The tuning for each of the modules. Then we have the 1 volt per octave input. Then we have from sine to saw. We have frequency modulation and CV input modulation. Let's take an output here of the quad function generator, and we'll put it in here. From here we can have negative or positive influence on the CV signal in. We can put that into the frequency modulating input. You can get some of those kind of Buchla chirps, or just sort of a tremolo warble effect. Of course, we can do that with the waveform. For some pretty beautiful results. You can hear that's just that module. You can see that it's got quite a Swiss Army knife of functions available on it. The next is the quad function generator. Here we have a trigger input. We can either press these buttons to trigger inputs, or you have a cycle input. So from here, I have a square wave going in here, and this is going to give you saw or square wave. This is a CV input here into the attack, and then you have a CV input on the decay as well. And if we take this guy output, and we throw this, say, in the frequency modulator, it's really easy to start getting into that classic Buchla territory. The output is either a pulse or like a band pass, I believe. And then here on the outputs here, you have a quadrature output, which combines the two. So let's maybe create two polar opposite connections, and then from here we can blend these. So you can come up with some really interesting cross modulation that, again, you're not going to see in a lot of other modules. I highly recommend you check out Don Buchla's own compositions. I'll leave a link to a couple there in the description. It's really going to be great to understand the kind of music that he was interested in making, and will kind of inform the possibilities you can have with these modules. One thing I would mention off the bat, my first introduction into modular synthesis was actually on a 200E series and then a 200 at the same time. So not only was I extremely lucky, but in having to decipher Don's concepts, it really helped me understand the rest of the basic functions that you'll see on most modules. Like let's take something super kind of basic, like maybe this Atlantis, even though there's a lot of possibilities here. Once you kind of understand this, breaking apart these kind of ideas is really quite simple. I'm really excited to see what Buchla and Tip Top come up with here. I think one thing that Buchla really and Tip Top really improved on is on the 200 and 200E, these weren't particularly solid potentiometers, especially here on the tuning knobs. They were really kind of janky. So I applaud them for improving there. I see that the manuals are rewritten too. It'd be nice to have Don's original manuals available there. He had some interesting writings on not really the topography, but really inspired writings on the modules. I know that he had that for the 200E. I never read the 200, but 200E shares a lot of similarities, except for that it's digitally controlled, where of course these are all analog. Yeah, check them out. I got mine from Nightlife Electronics here in Canada, but a lot of people are carrying them, and they're very well priced. I think this was $200, and this was just over $200 dollars price-wise. American, of course, Canadian, it's a little bit more. But yeah, I'm excited to see which other modules they come out with. Smash like, subscribe, explore, and we'll see you again.